purple jersey.
The beautiful campus of CBC High School on a Friday night in St. Louis. And here we are at W. Michael Ross Stadium, the CBC Cadets taking on the Vianney Griffins. My name's Randy Molman, Coach Chris Maris alongside. And Coach, the town, St. Louis, is abuzz because it's playoff baseball here in St. Louis. The St. Louis Cardinals in the National League Championship Series. But Mother Nature is giving a nod to football here tonight. 45 degrees. It's football weather.
It definitely is football weather tonight. You can definitely feel a chill in the air that you've not felt in St. Louis so far this fall.
The Cadets take on Vianney, and Coach, last week an impressive victory over Winton Woods out of Cincinnati came into W. Michael Ross Stadium, and the Cadets won in impressive fashion.
They did. They really, took one. It was a huge growing step forward. Winton Woods, albeit a smaller school, a powerhouse out of Cincinnati. Big Division I running back coming in, lots of talent all over the field. Safety got knocked out early, and then again their big running back, ultimately, who was nursing a little bit of a bad ankle. I think he thought he was going to run all over us, and we had a little bit more coming for him. He got dinged up, and I think they decided to pull him out before he got any more banged up, knowing their playoffs were coming up. And their backups, albeit talented, did not have an answer. The passing game went crazy. Both Patrick Heidert and Aiden Robinson-Wayne went crazy last week, throwing multiple touchdowns, and it was just a great game to see, a great growing experience for CBC.
2 touchdowns of 50 yards or longer, so big plays, and you know Coach Pingle loves those big plays. The offense thrives on those big plays, and the long touchdowns are sort of a CBC staple.
Well, they are, but it's also a lot of that comes out of our tempo.
Uh-huh.
And the one thing that I saw out of CBC last week that I've not seen since we put in the up-tempo offense back in 2014 was, boy, they were like, play was called. They were on the line of scrimmage, and Winton Woods was still subbing. Multiple penalties on substitution issues, timeouts getting called, guys not set. There was a play situation where they were running a safety on late, and we were tempoed, ready to go, and Patrick Heidert had the wherewithal to, wait because the guy was coming on the field right where Zach Hahn was going to go, and he had to wait for him to clear to get over to where Zach actually was, and then right when he got head up on Zach, not positioned, snapped the ball, he went on a seam route, he was gone, and was one of two touchdowns for Patrick Heidert, who had kind of a breakout game. Aiden Robinson-Wayne, we've been talking about all year, but if something were to happen with him, Patrick answered the bell as a guy who could definitely lead this offense.
So CBC comes in now with a record of 5-1, 2-1 in conference as they take on Vianney here today, Belleville West in a couple of weeks. A big test looming next week at Rockhurst in Kansas City for the Cadets. But again, these are games that are going to really get them prepared for the playoffs, especially since there's a good chance they're going to face DeSmet again in districts.
Well, that's the eye on that's the prize right now. That's the thing. Can you answer that? Because you're going to have to go through DeSmet one way or the other, whether you do it in the second round or in the district championship game. CBC wants to maintain that second or third seed, so they've got a hold form through here. Francis Howell's nipping on their heels, less than a point behind them in the district standings, also sitting at 5-1. And neither team looks to probably lose before the end of the season. But CBC's got a little bit tougher road ahead of them with Rockhurst and Belleville West than Francis Howell does with their remaining opponents.
That's Coach Chris Maris. My name's Randy Molman. In the house, out at midfield, conducting the coin toss, former CBC wide receiver, current defensive back, for Ohio State University, Cam Brown. And by the way, in his sophomore year, I believe, he's getting some minutes at Ohio State right now.
He is. He's playing behind two very talented corners, playing cornerback for Ohio State. I had a good 10, 15-minute sit-down with him today. Haven't taught him before. He came by my classroom and visited with me for a little bit. And, he's waiting. He's waiting for his turn. He's getting some time, but he's waiting for his turn. He thinks next year is going to be an opportunity for him to break out as a junior. And he said, who knows? We'll see what happens. He thinks he's going to be one of those top 5 first or second round guys before it's all said and done, and that's who he's playing behind right now. When you can start for Ohio State, you got a chance to play for a long time.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, if you can be a second stringer at Ohio State, you have a chance to play in the NFL because they're so deep and they have so much talent. A lot of those second-team players are good enough to play in the NFL.
They are.
So, yeah, Cam Brown here tonight, and he was just on the sidelines. You just saw him mingling with the coaches. Vianney is set to kick. They're going to go right to left here on your screen. We are in the Tim Kylo broadcast booth at W. Michael Ross Stadium, ready for some football here at CBC. Vianney and the Golden Griffins take on the Cadets. Kicking off, number 7, Andrew Copeland, and we are underway. Pooch kick far side, and that is caught at the 24. Bringing it near side, cutting it upfield for CBC, across the 35-40, 45-50, 45-40, and finally run out of bounds. A fantastic return by Zach Hahn. And boy, he has really emerged this year. He had a big game last week as a wide receiver versus Winton Woods.
He did. There is a flag on the field, and it's a shame that this is probably going to get called back on a hold or a block in the back. He was lights out, but I can tell you right now, Vianney went pooch kick right there, trying to kick it away from the deep guy. When you're kicking it away from the deep guy and the guy who's getting the ball is Zach Hahn, that presents a lot of problems for you if you're trying to cover a kick. Now this is going to come back. We'll see what they mark off.
They do mark it against CBC.
I think that's marking helmet-to-helmet contact.
Interesting.
He brought both his hands together,
Yep.
and some of the newer calls I'm not as familiar with, and we don't see them as often on the lower level. Sometimes we're just trying to get these guys to make good contact, let alone worry about hitting that hard. But it was a 15-yard penalty, so obviously some sort of personal foul of some sort.
The Cadets will start 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line. And, Coach, the Cadets wearing their alternate uniforms tonight, the purple tops, the Vegas gold pants, Vegas gold helmet, but the pink numbers and pink trim here tonight.
Well, October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month is always a big deal for the kids to wear a lot of pink in that month. And Coach Pingle, when he sat down with the seniors, this is what the seniors ultimately helped pick out on one of the options. And there's a lot of duplicate numbers on the sidelines because we got a lot of other kids who did the things that they needed to do in the offseason to be able to dress for this game.
And no names on the back of the jerseys. It just says "Be a Brick" on every CBC jersey. Handoff up the middle, stopped initially. In on the stop, number 47, Joey Lyon. Also looks like 64, Nick Ledwan in on the stop for Vianney.
So Vianney gets off to a good start there, able to stop there. Now, CBC did get the benefit of a penalty. It looks like they encroachment, but only got a yard or so on that play by Ray.
Calling it 2nd and 5 at the 32. Lingard in the backfield. Aiden Robinson-Wayne hands it to Lingard, coming near side. Cuts it upfield across the 40. Breaks a tackle, finally hit from behind. Big-time carry for Lingard. He got 12 and a first down.
Nice carry for Ray, who's getting a little bit more time here. I don't know all the particulars, but I think CBC's a little dinged up at running back coming into this week.
I noticed Jordan Clay. That's going to be a false start. Jordan Clay with no carries last week. How's Eric Loomis? Will he be back tonight? Do you know?
He should be back tonight.
So CBC is a little dinged up. Ray Lingard also leads the team in tackles this year. He also has 4 sacks coming in, second on the team behind Michael West. So after the false start, it'll be 1st and 15 for the Cadets. They go left to right on your screen. As I said, 5-1. The only loss to DeSmet, 2-1 in conference. Robinson-Wayne claps twice. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff up the middle. It's batted down and almost intercepted.
Off. 52, one of the outside guys dropped a little bit, got a hand up and got on that and almost knocked it up to himself. CBC looked like they were going for the seam route there to Karate Brinson and couldn't quite get it over the defender.
For the Griffins, keep an eye on defense on the Bollinger brothers, number 40 Henry and number 43 Jack. We'll tell you a little bit more about them as the game goes on. 2nd and 15. Robinson Wayne with the screen to Lingard. Lingard across the 40. 45 cuts it across midfield. He's into Vianney territory. He'll have a first down as he danced up the sidelines. First down, Cadets in Vianney territory.
So one of the things you're seeing from Vianney early on is they're showing what you call a bear look, where they're bringing everybody up and you're not sure who's coming and who's dropping off. Not so much on this play, but previously.
Fired into the flat here. Caught by Dixon, and he is wrapped up on the near side.
Nice quick hitch there by Tyler to get that ball and turn upfield. Only got about 4 on that, but still good catch from him and throw from Aiden Robinson Wayne.
You talked about tempo. CBC running that tempo right now, getting to the line of scrimmage quickly. Here's Robinson Wayne cutting it up the middle. He's got a hole inside the 20, 15, 10, almost tripped up, dives to the goal line. He'll be short.
They're going to call him down on the 1. Once the guy got a little bit of the heel click on him, he couldn't get going again quick enough in order to run away from that last guy.
40-yard carry for Aiden Robinson Wayne. It's 1st and goal at the 1. Shotgun snap. This will be Lingard up the middle. Touchdown, CBC. That was easy. The Cadets' first drive, they march right down the field and score. 73-yard drive for the Cadets.
Nice drive there by CBC, able to do a little bit of run, a little bit of pass, and the penalty's a little bit of an issue there, but nonetheless, CBC punches it in on their first drive.
Josh Kasich is on to attempt the extra point. He did the kicking last week versus Winton Woods, and he'll do the kicking again today. Kasich, number 93, is a sophomore. The extra point is good, and CBC leads 7-0 with 9:35 to play first quarter. They take the opening drive, march right down the field, and score. So the Cadets on a couple of nice runs by Lingard and a long run. And a long run by Aiden Robinson Wayne of 40 yards, set him up on the 1, and Lingard punched it in for his 4th touchdown of the season. That opening kickoff was brought to you by TJ's Pizza. TJ's Pizza, a great fundraising option. If you're interested in doing some fundraising, go to tjspizza.com. We also serve TJ's Pizza right here at W. Michael Ross Stadium. So if you're ever here for a game, grab yourself a slice. tjspizza.com.
So one of the things you see with CBC right now down on the sideline, one of the offensive linemen is getting taped up a little bit, but CBC's really, really banged up on the O-line, and they have been and since before the DeSmet game, and they're trying to get healthy, and you see Brady Feeney's out again this week. Hopefully he'll be back soon, but I know they're trying to make sure they've got him right before they put him back in there.
Kasich kicks. Vianney on the far hash, up the middle across the 20 and driving across the 25 close to the 30-yard line. A nice return there for the Griffins, and they'll take over 1st and 10. This will be our first look at the Vianney offense and the CBC defense here tonight with 9:27 to go first quarter.
Good initial contact by CBC on the kickoff team, but the Vianney guy, after getting popped pretty good, still drove his feet and was able to get some positive yardage.
Quarterback is Griffin John. He wears number 12, the senior. Number 5, the tailback, Cannon Barkham. Vianney has a history of very, very good tailbacks. Ooh. There's a pass in the right over the middle to number 47, who sat down Joey Lyon, but the ball was a little off and he dropped it. CBC almost intercepted.
Well, he was open, and then it got deflected a little bit, and it looked like CBC might pick the ball off, but ultimately ended up on the ground.
Cannon Barkham this year is a player to watch for the Griffins on offense. He wears number 5, listed as a wide receiver, but he's been running at tailback, 5'9" junior, and Barkham has 897 rushing yards over his last 5 games, 2 games where he's rushed over 200 yards, and he's gotten over 100 yards rushing in every game this season except for the opening game, where he was switched to running back. He started
got a late flag, and I think they're going to get us on a horse collar there.
Looks like it. So Barkham did not play running back in that opening game in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and was switched to tailback in game 2, and is very, very successful so far for Vianney.
Well, and you've got a new head football coach at Vianney, so they're doing some different things than we've seen in the past. Chad Master is the new head coach, so you're going to see some different looks and some different wrinkles than you've seen from Vianney the past couple of years when they were run under the former coach Paul Day.
So a 15-yard horse collar penalty called on CBC puts Vianney at midfield, first down and 10, approaching 9 minutes to play first quarter. John takes the shotgun snap. Quick fire over the middle. It's caught. Pickup of 9. Number 87 there on the receiving end. That's John Volmert, the tight end.
So CBC's playing a little soft right now on their coverage and stuff, and there's a couple of times the tight end's been open on a couple of plays. That gives them a second and short. And I think it's going to, after an emotional win last week, I think it's going to take CBC a series or two to kind of get into this game a little bit.
Second down and 1 at the CBC 41 for Vianney. Here's John. He pitches it to Barkham. Barkham left side, cuts it upfield inside the 40. Brought down there, close to the 35-yard line, and on the stop for the Cadets was Tyler Dixon.
So option look there, speed option between the quarterback and the tailback, and just stretch out the perimeter, make everybody commit to their assignments, and pitch the ball out there and make sure you get the first down.
Pick up a 4. That's enough for the first down. So the Griffins going right to left, all white road uniforms. The black and yellow trim. And, of course, the Michigan Wolverine-esque uniform or helmet there, Coach.
Yes, it's been there since all I can remember.
First down and 10 at the CBC 37. John takes the shotgun snap, fires over the middle.
Oh.
Tight end was not ready, threw his hands, and almost picked off by Jordan Marshall.
I think had he been ready, it would have been right there to him. I mean, he kind of threw his right hand up as it came through, and he seemed surprised that the ball was coming in there, but if he did not get rid of the ball, he was going to get rocked because CBC had pressure coming untouched.
You see a pattern here, though, for Vianney early. Griffin John is not sitting in that pocket for very long. He takes a snap, one step, ball's out.
It's quick passing game.
Sure is. John out of the shotgun, looks to his right. 3 wide receivers spread wide to his right. And we get a penalty.
There's a penalty on that particular play, and looks like Vianney jumped offside. CBC shifting a lot on their defensive front, and that makes an offensive lineman a little nervous. Sometimes they get a little anxious and jump off there a little too quick, and that particular case, Vianney decided to go a little too soon.
So it'll be 2nd and 15 for the Griffins at the CBC 42. John rolls right, trying to avoid pressure, fires. That's almost intercepted. Now it is. Ball was deflected up in the air and picked off by the Cadets. And they'll take over at the 42-yard line. Great play and a good read there on defense.
No, sophomore Justice Johnson. So another sophomore getting in the mix. Blair Schonhorst is a little dinged up. Familiar theme here, folks. And Justice Johnson gets the start, knocks that one up to himself, comes down with it. The coaches rewarding the coach's faith in them and putting a young guy back in the game in a tough situation.
Penalty flag on CBC. It's probably during the return because the CBC offense is taking the field. So it was during the return, probably an illegal block. Missed the call there, but I think an illegal block, and that'll bring CBC 15 yards back. So it'll be first down and 10 at the 25.
It's going to be hard to pick up the flags at all with the gold pants and the pink letters. It's colors everywhere.
Robinson Wayne. And another penalty flag. So a lot of flags early here at W. Michael Ross Stadium. Looks like a false start.
You don't see that very often from CBC. They're pretty disciplined in terms of of getting up, getting ready, and moving before the ball is snapped.
So it'll be 1st and 15 now. Ball is spotted at the 19. Cadets lead 7-0. Opening drive took less than 3 minutes to score, and then they just got a turnover on an interception. And they have it at the 19-yard line, and another penalty flag. And it looks like we're going to get another false start on the Cadets.
Wonder what's going on there.
So it'll be 1st and 20 now on back-to-back false start calls on the Cadets.
I'm trying to see what they're seeing, but, you know, I got bad eyes, so who knows.
And the funny thing is we both have glasses on.
I actually remembered mine today.
Pass there to Hahn, and he's run out of bounds. Not much space there.
He got about 2. He had something for a second, and he kind of pulled up, thought about changing direction, and when he did, got himself in a little bit of trouble, couldn't get going again.
Bollinger and Lyon over there running Hahn out of bounds. Robinson Wayne takes the snap. 2-step drop, fires deep down the middle of the field. He's got Zach Hahn open in midfield. Makes the catch down around the 40-yard line.
Well, that'll erase all those penalties in a big hurry. Nice throw right there. Nice touch ball by Aiden Robinson Wayne over the top.
Zach Hahn had 2 steps on the defensive back, quickly to the line of scrimmage. Robinson Wayne near side, complete. Tackled immediately at the 39, pickup of a couple.
So Vianney seems to be sort of ready for the quick tempo after the long play. That's something CBC likes to do, is they like to jump up, and here they go again. CBC's really pushing the tempo.
Hamilton with that catch. 4 wide receivers in the game for the Cadets. Handoff up the middle. That's Jordan Clay. Bounces to the outside. Inside the 30. Inside the 25, and he spins down to the 20-yard line. Jordan Clay with a great run for the Cadets.
Danced his way through a lot of traffic there in order to get a good run going there for CBC.
Quickly to the line of scrimmage for the Cadets at the 21-yard line. 1st down and 10. Robinson Wayne fakes, now rolls right. Fires near side into the dirt. Incomplete, intended for Hamilton. Over there in coverage was number 47 for Vianney, Joey Lyon.
He wanted to go left quickly, and it wasn't there, or he was just pumping that way to push the safety, and then as he rolled out and kind of pushed to the right, he short-armed the ball just a little bit, threw it down at the feet of the receiver.
2nd and 10 at the 21-yard line for CBC. 6:26 to play, first quarter. Cadets lead 7-0. Robinson Wayne hands it to Clay. He picks his way inside the 20, down to about the 16. So that'll be a 5-yard pickup. It'll be 3rd and 5 for the Cadets.
So I think CBC is still just trying to figure out exactly how Vianney's, moving, slanting, and whatnot in terms of picking up all of their blocks.
2 tailbacks in the game for the Cadets. Fake to McAlpine. Robinson Wayne keeps it himself up the middle, inside the 10. He's fighting inside the 5, and he's forward progress will land him inside the 5. A little extra shove on the play by Bollinger. No penalty flag.
A lot of fans are a little upset here on that, but it'll be a 1st down from CBC, so it'll be 1st and goal from about the 4-yard line. They had originally marked his forward progress another yard or so up, and then the official popped back on it, but.
So 1st and goal at the 4. Clay in the backfield. Chevalier Brinson split wide left. Also, McAlpine in the backfield with Robinson Wayne, number 26. Here's the snap. Robinson Wayne looking for Brinson on the fade, and he got it.
Wow.
Touchdown, CBC. Beautiful fade. Chevalier Brinson goes up to get it, and that's why you throw the fade to the 6'3" basketball player on the far side.
Well, you are, and I mean, he made that look so effortless the way that he went up, kind of almost, 1.5 hands there as he grabbed the ball and pulled it down.
Eric Loomis now will come on to attempt the extra point for the Cadets with 5:18 to play here in the first quarter. Try to make it 14-0 here for CBC.
Cam Brown's not the only one in the house. Cam Babb is down there also.
Snap back, ball down. The kick is up and good, and the Cadets lead 14-0 with 5:18 to play. That's right, Cameron Babb in the house as well, Ohio State wide receiver. He's still been battling a couple of injuries.
I noticed, on
the
recovery trail.
Right.
Cam Brown told me that he is able to run around. He's doing a little bit more, but, I mean, he's out for the season. He's hoping to be healthy and ready to come back the beginning of next season.
So with 5:18 to play, CBC is on top 14-0 here against the Vianney Golden Griffins in MCC play. As we talked about earlier, the Cadets will round out the season after this week at Rockhurst and Kansas City next week, and then at home against Belleville West in 2 weeks before districts begin here in Missouri.
Yeah, and I mean, it's hard to believe we're just that close to the playoffs getting ready to start.
So Loomis will do the kicking here for the Cadets. Ahead 14-0, 5:18 to play first quarter. Here's the kick. It's a deep kick down to about the 6. And Vianney will bring it out across the 15, 20, 25, 30. Head of steam right at the 30-yard line. Nice return again there by number 23.
So good coverage there by
Vianney.
CBC.
Check that 22. It's Tony Hecht.
Did pretty well there to get down on that ball.
So Vianney starts 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. They drove into CBC territory on their last drive. A lot of quick passing got them into Cadet territory. And their tailback, Cannon Barkham, who's averaged well over 100 yards a game out of the backfield, only had 1 carry. And he's going to get another one here on the pitch, and he'll fall on it.
That might have been a lateral right there, the way he fell on the ball.
Mike West there, as well as number 34, Calvin Carey, 2 of CBC's leading tacklers.
Calvin Carey, a young man who's really come on strong as a junior to take one of those inside linebacker spots opposite of Ray Lingard.
The Carey brothers have had some success here.
They
at
have.
CBC.
They have. His older brother Luke.
4:33 and counting, first quarter. Out of the shotgun. Flank to his left is Barkham. John fires in the flat, and if Tyler Dixon had turned around, he could have walked in for 6.
He was following his read, everybody.
Yes,
so
yes.
He saw his read. He was running out to it. Had he just taken a half a look inside, with his talent, he would have popped that ball right out of the air and probably would have scored.
So it'll be 3rd and very, very short.
No,
unless they give him a
10.
first. Oh no, that's right.
Because they
after
went
the
backwards.
loss, 3rd and 10. That's right. 3rd and 10 at the 30. Under 4 to play first quarter. Vianney lost last week to St. Louis U High. They put 28 points up on the Junior Bills. Unfortunately, they gave up more than that. 3:40 to go. Griffin John's going to roll left now. Stops, looks downfield, but
He's
in the
going down.
backfield.
Charlie Kilby, the senior.
Sacked by Kilby in the backfield, number 87. Nice play by the CBC Cadet defensive lineman.
Wow, what a huge turn of events. They had 3rd and 10, and now they're 4th and 20, so it'll bring on the punting unit. And Kenneth Hamilton looks like he's headed deep for CBC as they've got a 2-tiered return.
Number 21 for the Cadets there is Jordan Marshall. He's the up man. Back deep to do the punting for Vianney is number 7. He comes on the field late, Andrew Copeland. He stands at about his 8-yard line. Cadets stand to get very, very good field position here. Copeland, a wobbly kick, doesn't go very far, and it's going to roll out of bounds at about the 41. Let's see where they spot it. Nevertheless, great field position for CBC.
Anytime you start across midfield, you're in great shape. So, got some friends up here in the broadcast booth with us.
Cameron Babb in the booth. Cameron Brown's in the booth from The Ohio State University.
Buckeyes.
Buckeyes here in the booth. Either of you want to get on, do a little chatting? Yeah? Yeah, come on.
Cam Babb never shied away from a microphone. Here you go.
You got to be able to hear me, though. CBC has the ball here. Aiden Robinson-Wayne, 1st and 10 at the 40. Fakes, rolls right, looking downfield, fires down the seam. He's got a man open. That's Brinson. And he'll get stopped. Forward progress at about the 21. Cam Babb.
How you doing, man?
Let's get that mic a little closer here. There you go.
Yep.
Is that better?
Yes, sir.
That's better.
Yes,
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
How's Ohio State treating you?
It's great, man. It's great. It's awesome. Loving the experience. love everything they got going on. We got going on down there, culture and everything. So love it. Ooh,
He's got
Ooh,
Dixon in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, CBC.
Snagged it.
That
I
looks
like
familiar,
that.
doesn't it?
Yeah, man. Like seeing the young guys getting it done, man.
So the Cadets score. They go up 20-0. I've got Cameron Babb here with me in the booth. And Cameron, talk about. I know you battled some injuries,
Yes,
and you're out for the season. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
But you're working to be back full time next year.
Sir, yeah. Yes, sir. Just cutting right now. Running routes, getting back to it. Just getting back to what I used to do and supporting. Cam back here right now for this season. He's doing a great job. So just watching my guys do their thing. So
that's Cameron Babb here with me. Loomis about to attempt the extra point. We'll tell you about that here. Snapback ball down. Kick is up and good. 21-0 Cadets. 2:19 to play first quarter. So you got on the field a little bit last year.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
I remember watching a game, and I remember someone blocking a punt in the game I watched. Was that you?
That was actually that was my friend Chris. So
okay.
Yeah,
but were you on the field?
I was dressed that game.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, so that was my friend Chris. He actually wore number 19, and then that's when
he
I
switched.
Had sat out. Yeah, he switched
because the
to
broadcaster said it was
yes,
you.
Sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I got a whole bunch of texts and calls after that.
I was
going to
say.
So.
All right. Well, so talk about real quick while we have a break. What playing here at CBC, playing for Coach Pingle, how has that prepared you to play at especially a powerhouse like Ohio State?
Yeah, I just feel like Coach Pingle, just his IQ of football and just knowing the game. I just realized looking back at it, just all the things that I was taught while I was here going into Ohio State, just especially with the offensive playbook and just stuff like that. He really, just being a receiver and him being a receiver, he kind of just helped me develop, just at least at a high school level, and help me transition, going to Ohio State.
Coach Maris and I talk all the time about how this offense is this offense can't prepare you any better to play in a college-style offense. Talk about that a little bit.
I just feel like, especially at Ohio State, we do like signals. So there's no huddle usually. It's all signals, fast-paced offense, just like we do here. So I feel like just having 4 years of that here kind of really got me prepared to do that.
I was going to say.
At that level. So.
Did you feel like it was easier for you to acclimate because of that?
Most definitely. Yes, sir. Most definitely.
Cameron Babb joining me here in the Tim Kylo broadcast booth. Vianney has it. 1st and 10 at the 19. CBC leads 21-0, 2:18 to play first quarter. So tell me about college life. You got to keep it clean.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's good, man. Getting the academics, meeting a lot of new people and stuff like that. So it's amazing, man. Just to get those connections and stuff with everybody. It's awesome. Just getting out of St. Louis a little bit, just meeting new people. And
so what are
like
you majoring in?
Communications.
Communications?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So are you taking a lot of, like, are you looking at broadcast what kind of communications are you looking
so
at?
I'm still trying to decide more, like I'm looking at strategic communications or even, going into broadcasting, just still trying to,
there
search
you go.
around.
See, this is your first test right here.
Yes, sir. So.
You can come back and take over for Coach Maris.
Hey, he's doing a great job, man. I don't know. He's doing a great job, man.
So all right, well, good. Does your buddy Cam Brown want to hop on here? Come on, man.
Yeah, man. I think he's playing right now. He's balling out, so I think he should,
get on here. So it'll be 2nd and 10 now for Vianney here, going right to left first quarter. Cameron Brown now on mic here in the Tim Kylo broadcast booth. I do check the Ohio State stat sheets every so often to see if you guys are logging in. I know he's out for the year, but I'm checking on you.
Yeah.
How's you're getting some playing time? You've recorded some tackles. I saw you got a couple receptions. How are you acclimating into the system there at Ohio State?
So the reception is not me. It's the
it's the other.
Yeah, it's another 26. He's on offense, so he got that. But I play defense. I got a couple tackles. Last game I played a lot. Got like 3 tackles, tackle for loss, and a PBU. That was one of my good games, breakout game for me.
So I know you went to Ohio State thinking, you probably play wide receiver. Did you know that they were going to try to convert you to corner, or did you, when you got there, did it sort of happen like after you got there?
No, he told me before.
There's a big run for Barkham. He gets out of bounds, pushed out there by Carey.
Yeah, but he told me before I got there that I was going to probably look at more DB. He said he liked my athleticism and stuff like that. So I was really looking forward to it, and it went good for me.
Yeah. So you're getting playing time now, and Ohio State is dominating right now. I mean,
yes,
Ohio State is – you look at the scores, and it's just domination. What's it like having the new quarterback in, Andrews, right? or Justin Fields, who came from Georgia.
Yeah.
He's at Ohio State, and he is balling out.
Yeah,
he's killing it.
He's great, man. He's a great player. See him next year. Hopefully more from him than we've seen so far.
So what are so you got a bye week this week, I'm assuming. Who do you got next?
We got Northwestern next. We play there next Friday.
At Northwestern?
Yep, night game.
So I asked Cam Babb the same question. Cameron Brown joining me. What's playing here at CBC, playing for Coach Pingle, learning the game, learning how to prepare? How has that prepared you to get playing time at Ohio State?
Just showed me just everything I need to know from football, see different schemes and just different. He put me in different situations that I've never been in and just made me better.
Cameron Brown in the Tim Kylo broadcast booth with me. Here's Barkham takes a direct snap out of the Wildcat. He's hitting the backfield. Nice play by that CBC defense. So how about you? One last question. Cameron Brown's itching to get off the mic. He doesn't want to be on this mic anymore. One last question. What are you studying in college?
I'm not really sure yet. I've looked at a few majors, but I'm really trying to just make sure I make the right one before I just jump into something and I have to change it later. So.
Has the study habits that you got here at CBC transitioned to college?
Oh, yeah. It made me a way better student. Got a student athlete of the month this past month, so obviously it's going well for me.
Very good. Cameron Brown, thank you for joining us here. Cam Babb, thank you for joining us.
Appreciate it, man.
Cameron Brown, Cam Babb here in the Tim Kylo broadcast booth. CBC alums, of course, playing at The Ohio State University. And it's the end of the first quarter. The CBC Cadets lead 21-0 over the Vianney Golden Griffins. And the Cadets are dominating play here in this first quarter. Cam Brown and Cam Babb coming back to visit the old stomping grounds here. And Coach Maris, it's good to see those guys, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, I got to teach Cam Brown a couple of different times. I had Cam Babb too, and I got to coach Cam Babb. Ironically enough, I got to coach Cam Babb. I didn't get to coach Cam Brown. He transferred in midway through his freshman year, but it was so fun because not only are they great talents, but they're great kids. You know, I mean, and they're men now. I get it, but you know, they operated and did things the right way, and you know, they took responsibility when things weren't going right. You know, they didn't blame other people. And it was just, you know, they were great kids to have around.
So great to have those guys here in the Tim Kylo broadcast booth, and they're going to make their mark at Ohio State. Cameron Brown already getting playing time his sophomore year for the Buckeyes, and Cam Babb will be back from injury next year. So looking forward to see what those two are going to do. And the thing that they both mentioned was the preparation from a football perspective that Coach Pingle had them ready when they got to Ohio State.
Well, I think Coach Pingle having the opportunity to play collegiately and
at wide receiver.
At wide receiver at a very high level. And then he played professionally. I mean, he was in a couple of training camps in the NFL, played a lot of arena football, so he's doing a lot of different preparation in not necessarily the greatest opportunity, you know, greatest circumstances. You know, you're working and doing arena ball and playing in Europe and all the stuff that he did. And then he coached on the collegiate level a little bit before he came to CBC. So he had seen it from so many different ways. So he understands how to prepare these kids to be the student athlete, not just the athlete, but the student athlete.
And that's the other thing both of them mentioned was their ability in the classroom because of the preparation they got in the classroom at CBC. There's a run up the middle by Barkham after he had ran for about a 15-yard carry and a first down. So 2nd and 8 here for Vianney.
So it was really good seeing those guys. I did get to see Cam Brown stop by my room earlier, and we talked more school than we did football at that point. And, you know, I wasn't sure if Cam Babb was in town this weekend. And when I saw him down there and they came up and popped in, it was good to see them. So
I love Cam Brown still doesn't know what he wants to major in. I didn't know what I wanted to major in either. It takes a while sometimes.
I switched a couple of times when I was his age.
I think everybody does. There's a flag, probably a false start called there on Vianney.
So Vianney had a big run from Barkham earlier when they were doing a little bit of Wildcat and kind of caught CBC off balance a little bit as I was kind of watching from the monitor and a little bit behind while those guys were talking. And but then CBC's had a couple of good plays, and Vianney's had a few mishaps trying to get lined up where they weren't quite sure how they wanted to line up in this trips tight end set.
2nd and 13 now for the Griffins. Griffin John fires down the middle, and it is almost intercepted by Jordan Marshall. He was the safety man deep playing center field. The ball was overthrown, and he almost picked that off.
Well, and he popped it up in the air, and then he tried to contort his body to bring it down. Couldn't quite get there, but it makes it 3rd and long here. And, you got to wonder where Vianney's mindset is on this particular case. I know if I was in their shoes, and I'm not a head varsity football coach by any stretch, but I would be looking at this, and I'd be calling a play to get myself in a 4th down and manageable. Don't feel like you have to get it all back. And sometimes coaches get caught up in that. It's like you're across midfield. You've played okay in spots, but you really need to get a 1st down here.
Deep drop for John. He's going to fire to the sideline. Nobody there. Incomplete.
Well, they had a screen going on in the middle, and Barkham tripped and fell down. I don't know whether it was over one of our guys or over one of the linemen. And when you run a screen, if your screen guy – if he bites it, falls down, or is covered, the play's dead. There's not multiple options there, not like on a regular pass play where you've got 2 or 3 or 4 guys. It's a great time to run a screen play. It just didn't work out for them.
So no one in the vicinity.
Yeah, no one in the vicinity, so they called intentional grounding. We've seen a few of those recently, and I don't know that I completely agree in that situation. If you're not under duress and you throw it away like that, I kind of feel like maybe you should be able to do that.
Here's the punt now. Another wobbly punt. Short. It'll drop right at the 35 and take a Vianney roll inside the 25. They'll mark it at the 22. And that's where CBC will begin. With 10:01 to play in the 2nd quarter, the Cadets lead 21-0. Don't forget about our friends at TJ's Pizza, tjspizza.com. Great fundraising options. And if you're ever here at CBC at the football stadium, W. Michael Ross Stadium, grab yourself a slice of TJ's. And don't forget our friends at Mercy Sports Medicine. Kristen Jeans and her team do a great job here keeping the CBC players healthy. And Mercy can do the same for you. There's a first snap to Heidert, who's in the game. He hands it to Jordan Clay. Clay looking for room over the far side, cuts it upfield. He's going to have enough. It'll be close.
Late flag. The side judge didn't throw it. Back judge over here came in late and threw it all the way over there on the far side.
So this will come back. 10-yard pickup by Clay.
So they're going to lose from the line of scrimmage. They're going to end up losing about 6 from where the spot is because it'll be 10 yards from the spot.
So they'll put it back at just outside the 15-yard line.
So
first and about 15. No.
Like CBC's going to go to a tight end set or 17. A wing set here. They brought Wardenberg in, so they're going to be in a tight end set.
Heidert calling for Zach Hahn.
Hahn is the other tight end.
It's not a very big tight end, is it?
Well, normally Heidert's the other tight end.
Right.
So and he is a good-sized kid. Patrick is.
Clay picks up about 8. It'll be 2nd and 9. Good carry there on the 2nd and 17 or the 1st and 17 play. Clay in the backfield. Hahn and Brinson at receiver, as well as number 10. That's Dylan Wardenberg, and he'll line up tight now as a tight end on the left side. We saw this a few weeks ago against St. Louis U High. For the first time, Heidert has time. Looking downfield, he's going to fire towards the sideline. He's got Wardenberg. That'll be across midfield, and
I was just making sure.
First down.
We can't see whether his feet came down in bounds, and they were signaling as such. I was waiting to see it from the official, but nice going up and getting it there by Dylan Wardenberg, the former quarterback turned tight end.
1st and 10 at the Vianney 49. Here's Clay picking his way up the middle. He creates a lot of room. He slithered up the middle there for 8.
Creating a lot of misses in there as he, a lot of little jump cuts as he's making guys miss.
2nd and 2 at the 41-yard line. Wardenberg now splits wide right with Hahn and Brinson. Heidert takes the snap, hands it to Clay. Clay's hit immediately, tried to fight for extra yardage.
Somebody missed something in there. That was an inside guy, either a linebacker 52. Drew Bishop So he's a linebacker, and somebody didn't pick him up as he came through and sliced in and kind of blew that play up. And we got third and short.
3rd down and 2. Heidert claps twice, takes the shotgun snap, fires quickly here near side to Dixon. Dixon will have the first down to the 35. Tackled by 52. That is Drew Bishop, who made the play on Clay the previous play.
So when you're in that situation and you've got that big body in Dixon that you can get it to and just tell him get vertical as soon as you get it to get 2 yards, it's a great weapon to have.
Heidert fires down the field. Dixon sat down in the zone. He's tackled at the 25. Inside the 25. At the 23, they give him forward progress.
They got a flag on the field here. Looks like this might be coming back on a hold.
It is. Hold on CBC. 7:40 to play until halftime. 21-0 Cadets.
That'll be a big one. That was in the backfield. And that's a shame because Tyler Dixon has come to play tonight. He has had a big touchdown catch in the back of the end zone that I didn't get a chance to see very well because we were talking to people, but a couple of other nice catches.
So 1st and 22 now. Up the middle, picking his way inside the 45 to about the 43. Stacked up there by white jerseys.
That was Ray Lingard.
That was Ray Lingard with the carry. Kenneth Hamilton now checks in as another wide receiver for CBC. 4 receivers in the game. And Ray Lingard flanks Heidert. Heidert, number 15, takes the shotgun snap, fakes left, now rolls right on the design rollout. Looks downfield, it's caught. Oh, dropped. Dropped at the 31, Kenneth Hamilton.
Yeah, he had Kenneth, and Kenneth couldn't bring it in. Heidert had a tight window to bring it in, and he rifled it in there. Hamilton couldn't pull it in. So we got 3rd down and 17, 18?
Scoreboard says 18. Let's go with it. At the 43.
I always forget to look. I mean, it's right in front of me. I should look at the scoreboard. I'm looking at the sticks. I can look at the scoreboard.
I know. I do the same thing. Heidert out of the gun, takes the snap. Here comes the pressure. He's going to run up the middle. It'll be another penalty on the CBC offensive line. Another illegal block or hold on the Cadets. So it'll be 3rd and longer unless Vianney declines and makes CBC go for it on 4th and 18.
Well, it won't be 4th and 18 because Heidert got back up. I mean, if you look at where the Vianney's, it'll be 4th and 10.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I feel like with where CBC is on the field, Vianney's got to take this penalty.
Yes.
And it's really kind of a crapshoot. CBC's very capable of converting a 4th and 28, I guess is what it'll ultimately be.
I think they're calling more of a – they didn't really call a hold there. They
called
a
chop.
takedown, yeah.
They called a chop block.
So it'll be 3rd and wow. I'm just going to leave it at that. 3rd and wow. 34. 4th and 34.
Folks,
3rd and 34.
I can hear our fans sometimes. And sometimes it just makes me laugh.
Heidert keeps it himself up the middle, across the 45, into Vianney territory, down to about the 47. He reaches close to the 45. They'll mark it at that 47.
They're going to come out and punt this one. I think they were hoping to kind of treat that almost like a draw and see if he could get that. And Heidert did a nice job to get about 8 or 9 yards back on that, but not quite shifty enough to get it all as Tyler Charlton comes out to punt.
Tyler Charlton standing at his own 38.
Did a really good job last week directionally punting away from returners.
Vianney has 2 men deep. Number 5, Cannon Barkham. Left-handed or left-footed punt. Drops at the 20, and Vianney will let it roll to the 15. Smart play by number 43, Jack Bollinger, the junior wide receiver and defensive back for Vianney.
So I think as Tyler gets a little bit more time doing that, and he was in the thick of it to begin the season as the punter, his ability to directionally punt like that and control the ball as he gets a little better and can pin them deeper and deeper, that's a heck of a weapon to have as he pins them inside the 20-yard line.
So the ball spotted at the 15. That's where Vianney takes over. They're down 21-0 with 5:47 to play until halftime. Griffin John, the Vianney quarterback, a senior, the 6 foot, 185-pound quarterback, hands it off up the middle, picking his way across the 15. Ball's loose. Looks like the ball came free, and it's CBC football. It looked as if he may have been down. The referees are saying it came out before his knees went down, and that's CBC football. And that's a big turnover.
That's a big turnover and a tough break. And, you know, I thought he was down. I actually looked away because I thought the play was over, and all of a sudden everybody was cheering and hollering. I look up, and CBC's got the ball.
So the Cadet offense back on the field. And Aiden Robinson-Wayne back in the game at quarterback for the Cadets at the 21-yard line. First down and 10. Robinson-Wayne takes the snap, hands it off up the middle. There's Lingard. He's got a big hole inside the 10, cuts it to the outside, and races to the pylon.
Wow.
Touchdown, Cadets. What an explosive run by Ray Lingard.
That was an explosion I don't think we've really seen much from. I mean, we've seen some spots of it, but that was a heck of a run, maybe one of the best we've seen out of him all year. I think the only one that kind of rivaled that is he had that big run he had a few weeks ago against DeSmet.
On to attempt the extra point is Eric Loomis. So the Cadets now have opened up a 27-point advantage pending this extra point. With 5:28 to go, the turnover pays off for the Cadets. Snapback ball down, kick is up, and it is good. CBC leads 28-0 with 5:28 to go here until halftime.
Big turn of events there. CBC gets the ball on the turnover and turns around and punches it in the end zone.
So we'll have a special presentation at halftime that will definitely show you, as it is Hall of Fame weekend here for CBC. A number of Hall of Fame inductees at halftime, and we'll get you those names here shortly, but then you'll get to watch that presentation live at halftime. And a very cool thing, honorary alums will be presented with the St. Broker Solomon Award. And that's going to Coach Scott Pingle and the family of Liz Kosciolik.
I think that's brother. You're looking at handwriting, Brother Solomon, but yes.
Brother, St. Brother Solomon.
There you go. So
perhaps my handwriting should be better.
It's all good. It's all good.
CBC will kick off here. This is Loomis. Drills it deep. That's going to sail over the Vianney return man Bollinger's head into the end zone. Vianney will start at the 20. So, yeah, the St. Brother Solomon Award, honorary alums, Scott Pingle and the family of Liz Kosciolik. So you definitely want to watch our halftime presentation. We'll get you the names of the Hall of Fame inductees, quite a few this year.
There are.
When are you going in?
Oh, probably never, and that's fine by me. I don't know that I ever done anything worthy of getting in the Hall of Fame. I enjoy my time working with the kids and doing what I do, so.
Vianney first and 10 at the 20, down 28-0. Trying to put a drive together, get some momentum before halftime.
Markham had no place to go there.
He didn't. Number 87, Charlie Kilby in the backfield. That's the second time that he's been in the backfield, and a big tackle for loss for Kilby.
Interesting wrinkle there that CBC ran, I guess, maybe expecting an outside running play. Maybe not a lot of people call it. 32, Justice Johnson was on a corner blitz. They brought Jeffrey Morgan out to kind of shadow his guy, to play over the top of his guy. He creeped in late, and he took off the edge, either to get because you're seeing a lot of rollout from Vianney, so he might be going to help work on that rollout.
Griffin John fakes the handoff, fires, and it's dropped.
He's getting rid of the ball so quick that his receivers are having a hard time getting into the pattern and getting set.
John Volmert tried to throw that big left paw out to reel it in and just couldn't do so. 3rd and 18 now for Vianney.
Well, Vianney's trying to.
3rd and 12.
In their passing game, they're trying to negate the speed of CBC by going with a quick passing offense. Basically snap, throw the ball, and they're struggling with the speed on the outside in terms of being able to get guys into the pattern quick enough to be able to do that.
4:44 to play until halftime. John takes a snap. Design rollout to his right. Fires. Incomplete. Ball was a little off target.
Justice Johnson dove to make sure he was in position to tackle the guy. And I think had he just stood there, it might have popped off his hand and landed right in his lap.
So 4th and 12 for Vianney. And on to punt is number 7, Andrew Copeland, the senior. And Kenneth Hamilton's deep. He'll stand at about midfield. Jordan Marshall, the up man. In case of a short punt. High snap. Copeland quickly gets rid of it. Bounces at the 40-yard line of Vianney. Takes a Vianney roll, but CBC will have great field position at the 46-yard line of the Golden Griffins.
Well, between the way the field position is worked out, CBC's big strike ability and the turnover, I mean, CBC's really kind of had their way with Vianney. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know that I really feel like CBC's played like really crisp football. There's been a lot of penalties and some sloppy play, but their skill level is taking control of this game.
Onto the field, the CBC offense. 4:32 to play, looking for more points. Heidert is in the game. Wardenberg's in the game. They're both going to line up at tight end. Aiden Robinson-Wayne is the quarterback. Takes the snap, hands it off to McAlpine. Cuts it up the middle. He's got room. Inside the 35, dragged down from behind by Jack Bollinger. The Bollinger brothers, Jack Bollinger, number 43, is a junior. And number 40, Henry Bollinger, is a senior. And between them, they have about 100 tackles this year. They're the leading tacklers for the Golden Griffins on defense. 1st and 10 at the 33. Robinson-Wayne fakes a handoff, fires over the middle. He's got Heidert inside the 15, inside the 10, dragging tacklers into the end zone. Touchdown, CBC, 33 yards out. How about that play by Patrick Heidert?
Outstanding. So I got to tell you, Bob and Patrick Heidert, huge Notre Dame fans. And one of the things you think about with Notre Dame are big, strong, physical tight ends. You know, you think Mark Bavaro and some of the other ones that they've had. And so I'm sure he was channeling his Irish there as he plowed into the end zone. Nice play there by the backup quarterback, sometimes tight end, Patrick Heidert.
Loomis on for the extra point. Snap back, ball down. Kick is up, and it is good. CBC leads 35-0 with 4:01 to play until halftime. Boy, what an impressive run there by Heidert.
Well, it was, and he's showing he's not a one-trick pony. I mean, and we talked about this last week, and when you weren't here with Tom Eichwald, and we saw it the previous week against SLU. Basically, you know, he is a sophomore. He could resign himself to being, okay, I'm going to get a series here, a series there, and play second fiddle at Aiden, or he could say, I'm going to compete, and I'm going to find other ways I can help this team. And he's chosen to find other ways to help this team, and that's part of what CBC football is all about, because we get a lot of kids that come in here and, oh, I'm a running back, or I do this, or I do that, and we need them to do other things. And it takes any kid, you know, to check their ego at the door to be able to say, well, I'm not as good as this kid, but I got to find a way on the field. Our kids figure that out really quickly, and it's such a huge effect for us in terms of how we go about doing things.
So CBC will kick with 4:01 to play. The TJ's Pizza kickoff coming up here. Don't forget, if you want a fundraising option or just want some delicious pizza, go to tjspizza.com. This is Loomis, and he kicks it deep. Bollinger inside the 5, backs him up to the 1, comes up the right hash. Hit right across the 15, a big hit right there. For CBC, that's number 16.
Garrett Shantz.
Garrett Shantz with a big hit.
And last week when Ray Lingard got a little dinged up in the second half of that game, Ray didn't play in the second half. You know, and you're playing a big physical opponent in Winton Woods. Garrett Shantz stepped up at linebacker and did a tremendous job for Coach Dimovitz playing alongside Calvin Carey. And, you know, having that next man up mentality, I can't speak it enough. is just the way things work around here. You know, an offensive lineman goes down, somebody else has to step up and do the job.
Vianney will start at their own 16-yard line. Griffin John hands it off to Barkham, looking for room, bounces it to the outside.
Ooh.
Boy, what a nice run. He broke several tackles. That play was busted right up the middle. CBC was there, but Barkham made something out of nothing there.
He did, and Mike West had an opportunity to kind of rein that in, and he slid out of the tackle. And I can tell you right now, if you slide out of Mike West's tackle, you're a pretty strong runner. And Barkham's not a big dude, but he's been fairly impressive in his carries tonight, I feel like.
The 5'9" junior tailback has already rushed for 898 yards this year and 8 touchdowns. He's had an unbelievable season. And in his last 5 games, he's averaged well over 100 on the ground. Right side, Mike West pushes him out. And
It looked like he might have had the corner on Mike, and Mike used those big old long arms, say, nope, no you don't. I'm just going to give you a little nudge, and your momentum's going to take you right out of bounds.
no gain on the play. As a matter of fact, may have lost a yard. It'll be 3rd and a long 2 for Vianney. The Golden Griffins had a decent drive working in the first half, their very first possession. They were picked. CBC with the big interception. They drove down the field to score, and CBC has never looked back at that point. That put them up 14-0. The Cadets have only had to punt once here today in this first half. John fires, coming out of the backfield, and a huge hit by Jordan Marshall, who dumps Joey Lyon coming out of the backfield. Boy, you could hear that smack up here, Coach.
I mean, through headphones and everything. And, you know, we saw another big hit like that by Jordan Marshall last week. And, you know, Coach Dimovitz and I talked a lot about we love the big hits. But got to wrap up there. You still got to wrap up. You're going to come up against a guy, you know, when you do something like that against the Smet, those guys might bounce off you. And, you know, you want to make sure that you finish those tackles and make sure that you're sitting at a 4th and 2 and not giving up anything. But not to take anything away from Jordan, it's a great play. I'd just like to see them wrap up a little bit more.
4th down and 2 here for Vianney. They're going to go for it with 2:48 and counting until halftime. Here's Barkham. He'll have the first down. Cuts it across the 30, 35, 40, and he lowers his shoulder at the 45. Despite being 5'9", not the biggest running back, but boy, he really likes contact.
Boy, they did a nice job sealing the edge on the outside zone or the stretch play to the offense's right, defense's left, and he found the corner and just kept going.
So Barkham gets the first down up to the 45. It'll be 1st and 10 for Vianney.
It's funny to look at the sideline and seeing these kids huddled up in the cold weather.
John fires, and that's going to be intercepted, and that's going to the house. Touchdown, CBC.
Cam Powell.
Cam Powell stepped
Cam
in
Powell.
front of the receiver and took it for 6.
There was 2 guys right there. One guy was right there to kind of be the defender, and then Cam was able to just kind of fly up and rob that one and go the other direction. Saw that, what was it, against O'Fallon to begin the season where he returned one for a touchdown in the first quarter there.
What a play. 41-0 now, Cadets, and on to attempt the extra point is Loomis, trying to make it 42-0 here for CBC.
Well, I would tell all the kids on the sidelines, stay loose, stay loose.
The extra point is good. CBC leads 42-0 with 2:05 to play until halftime. Cam Powell steps in front of that pass and takes it to the house for the Cadets. How about that?
That was awesome. Great play right there by CBC. Get up 42-0 with 2 minutes left to go in the half.
And that after Vianney was building a little momentum after that good run by Cannon Barkham.
They did. They had some momentum going after they converted that 4th and 2, which was a gutsy call in that situation, and it turned on them.
So CBC will kick off again. TJ's Pizza kickoff coming up for the Cadets. And the Cadets have lit up the scoreboard here in this first half, in the alternate jerseys and all.
We love the alternate jersey game, but sometimes it doesn't bring out the cleanest football in CBC. Sometimes we play sloppy, and While it's not been the crispest game, it hasn't been super sloppy either. We've kind of cleaned it up a little bit after some early penalties.
Loomis will do the kicking for the Cadets, right to left on your screen. Here we go. And Bollinger is carried into the end zone, so Vianney will start at the 20. 2:05 to play until halftime.
Yeah, Loomis with a lot of lead on that play, on that kick right there.
So coming into this one, Griffin John was completing 54% of his passes. He had thrown 9 interceptions. He's already tossed 2 here today. Last week was arguably his best week against St. Louis U High. Threw a touchdown, no picks, completed a season-high 58.8% of his passes. But the CBC defense has his number tonight. Cannon Barkham reverses field, and that's no good. Mike West is there. So when you try to reverse your field and come back the other way and you run into Mike West, you're not going to get away very
You're
often.
looking at a guy who's staring down some Division I offers, you know, from some MAC schools and stuff like that. You better be careful reversing your field on him.
It'll be 2nd and 15. Loss of 5 on the play. Ball spotted at the 15. It's on the right hash. And Vianney's going to take their time here and let this play clock run down and get out of this first half. 42-0 is the score.
You really need to put yourself in a position to regroup at this point.
Hand off to Barkham, picking his way, and there's a CBC defender again to blow that play up. That's number 35, it looks like, for the Cadets, R.J. White, I think, in the middle there.
And R.J.'s gotten a lot of meaningful minutes so far this year, and he's only a sophomore, like a lot of other guys running around out there on that CBC defense. Yeah, you got your seniors, and we are super proud of the job that they've done because they've set the tone leadership-wise for these kids and the expectation on how to prepare, and it's allowed these young kids to be able to exhibit their skills also on the field to kind of complement those guys.
3rd and 18, play clock at 5. This is Markham now. He's going to throw it. Halfback pass.
Oh, and he
disrupted by the Cadet defense and then drilled down by number 84, Kendall Houston. Cleans it up for the Cadets.
Yeah, CBC was all over that on the trick play right at the end, and you're going to see Vianney let that run in. You've seen Barkham take a couple of big hits here at the end of the half. That one there, and then the other one that Mike West had on him. And, you know, such a nice player. You don't want him getting too banged up unnecessarily.
It's halftime. The Cadets lead 42-0. And stick around because we're going to have the Hall of Fame presentation here. And let me run down, in case you missed the players that are getting inducted or the people getting inducted here for CBC. We've got Barry Adelstein from 1959, Tony Kalika from 1988, Lieutenant Colonel, U.S. Air Force retired Peter Cantwell, 1978, George Casey, 1966, J. Gerald Combs, 1967, Vincent Comparato, 1955, Chuck Gilbert, 1967, Joseph Kelly, 1960, Tony Novelli, 1961, and David File, 1995, and then honorary inductees Scott Pingle and the family of Liz Kosiolik. And that will be your inductees here into the Hall of Fame at CBC, and then we're going to let you watch this presentation as well here at halftime. And Coach, the CBC Cadets dominated 42-0 here at half.
They've done their part. They've taken care of business here on homecoming, and you know, it's been fun to watch the first half here. Now, you know, you want to make sure that you keep things going in the right direction in the second half. Keep everybody healthy. Get yourself ready for a big trip to Rockhurst next weekend. You may be saying, no, you're counting your chickens before the hatch. Well, you're going to come out of the first half and you're going to be running with a running clock. CBC's going to have the running clock, and you know, turnovers, injuries, penalties, scores. That's the only time the clock's going to stop. So. Or timeouts, I guess it is. So, you know, you're not going to see the clock. It's going to go pretty quickly in the second half.
That's Coach Chris Maris. My name's Randy Molman. It's halftime. The CBC Cadets lead 42-0, but stick around. Hall of Fame presentation here coming up from W. Michael Ross Stadium, and we'll be back with the second half here shortly.
CBC alum and State Farm agent Tim Kylo is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Cadet Student Network. For more than 25 years, Tim and his team have helped their clients protect what is most valuable to them. Whether it's home, auto, or business, CBC Alumni Hall of Famer Tim Kylo prides himself on his commitment to the CBC community, and he can help protect you and your family too. Give him a call at 314-842-4442 to see how Tim can save you money on your insurance. Learn more online at timkylo.com.
Men for tomorrow, brothers for life. We say it often, and we take great pride in our commitment to this motto. That commitment has become a part of who we are at CBC.
Our brotherhood is well defined. We see it, we feel it, we experience it every day. It's in the relationships we establish, the moments we share, and the memories we will cherish forever.
But what does it mean to be a man for tomorrow? It means that you've prepared your mind, your body, your spirit, and your conscience for anything that life might throw your way. Your experiences at CBC should push you, challenge you, and inspire you to make the world a better place. And after 4 years, every cadet who walks across that stage at graduation will be a man who is guided by faith, strengthened by intellect, committed to justice, and prepared to lead and serve.
I am a difference maker. Oh, I am only one who speaks to him. And I am the friendliest of friends of God. I am a difference maker. Oh, I am only one who speaks to him. And I am the friendliest of friends of God.
At CBC, we win awards, championships, and accolades of all kinds. We love to celebrate together and couldn't be more proud of these accomplishments. But ultimately, our purpose is much greater. CBC is here to develop young men who will go out and make a difference in the world. That's a man for tomorrow.
A CBC high school education is about a transformation from boys to men. It is about the formation of a brotherhood that will stand the test of time. It is about service and discovery. It is about coming to understand the world around us and the people that live in it, and ourselves through real life experiences.
Welcome to the Innovation Commons here at CBC High School. We're always so excited when our classes meet in this brand new facility. Whether we're building something new, collaborating on a group project, or talking with the guest speaker, this place makes learning fun. There are so many opportunities here. Take a look at what our teachers are doing to make our high school experience so valuable.
We will start with our honorary alumni, Michael Jordan, Brian Haggerty, Brother Paul Meyer, Tom Murray, and Tom Young. Hall of Fame members, Kino DeFranco, class of 46. Jim Vogelsang, class of 58. Rich Judd, class of 59. Al Kozlowski, class of 59. Jim Belcher, class of 62. Bill Belcher, class of 66. Tim Hobart, class of 67. Tom Shine, class of 67. Mike Bartoni, class of 68. Jim Finger, class of 69. Bob Brent, class of 72. Matt Sheehan, class of 75. Tim Kylo, class of 77. Jim Carroll, class of 78. Chris Doyle, class of 78. And Steve Tigachek for the class of 78. Joe Gunn from the class of 79. Mark Fisher from the class of 84. Tim Shellhart from class of 85. Randy Staub, class of 88. Chris Belcher, class of 89. And Jim Curtis Jr., class of 90. The 2019 Hall of Fame inductees class. The late Vince Comparado, class of 55, accepted on his behalf by his daughter Lynn and her husband Phil Hill. Barry Adelstein from the class of 59. George Casey from the class of 66. Jerry Combs from the class of 67. Chuck Gilbert from the class of 67. Dave File from the class of 95. And our honorary alumnus, our own head football coach and math teacher, Scott Pingle. Welcome back, gentlemen, and congratulations again to our 2019 class from the CBC Hall of Fame. Next up, our band will play Metallica's heavy metal classic, Enter Sandman, with a guitar solo by Andy Malik.
CBC alum and State Farm agent Tim Kylo is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Cadet Student Network. For more than 25 years, Tim and his team have helped their clients protect what is most valuable to them. Whether it's home, auto, or business, CBC Alumni Hall of Famer Tim Kylo prides himself on his commitment to the CBC community, and he can help protect you and your family too. Give him a call at 314-842-4442 to see how Tim can save you money on your insurance. Learn more online at timkylo.com.
Men for tomorrow, brothers for life. We say it often, and we take great pride in our commitment to this motto. That commitment has become a part of who we are at CBC.
Our brotherhood is well defined. We see it, we feel it, we experience it every day. It's in the relationships we establish, the moments we share, and the memories we will cherish forever.
But what does it mean to be a man for tomorrow? It means that you've prepared your mind, your body, your spirit, and your conscience for anything that life might throw your way. Your experiences at CBC should push you, challenge you, and inspire you to make the world a better place. And after 4 years, every cadet who walks across that stage at graduation will be a man who is guided by faith, strengthened by intellect, committed to justice, and prepared to lead and serve.
I am a difference maker. Oh, I am only one who speaks to him. And I am friendliest of friends of God. I am a difference maker. Oh, I am only one who speaks to him. And I am friendliest of friends of God.
At CBC, we win awards, championships, and accolades of all kinds. We love to celebrate together and couldn't be more proud of these accomplishments. But ultimately, our purpose is much greater. CBC is here to develop young men who will go out and make a difference in the world. That's a man for tomorrow.
A CBC high school education is about a transformation from boys to men. It's about the formation of a brotherhood that will stand the test of time. It is about service and discovery. It is about coming to understand the world around us and the people that live in it, and ourselves through real life experiences.
Welcome to the Innovation Commons here at CBC High School. We're always so excited when our classes meet in this brand new facility. Whether we're building something new, collaborating on a group project, or talking with a guest speaker, this place makes learning fun. There are so many opportunities here. Take a look at what our teachers are doing to make our high school experience so valuable.
There's just a shift in education, a shift in learning to benefit our students. If we're talking about really helping to prepare these students, these young men, to go beyond these walls, then we have to do our due diligence and provide that type of environment.
One of the things that we like about the space is it mimics what's happening in industries, right? So we know that this is a shift not only in the way schools are moving, but the way companies are moving and businesses, and we wanted that kind of authentic experience. If we teach only what we know, we're doing them a disservice.
Big time.
We got to teach them how to learn on their own, because before long they know more than we.
One of the first lessons that we teach our guys in freshman leadership class is that everything builds off of character. And then we move into things like commitment and understanding what commitment is truly about, and the importance of seeing something through, having the resiliency to not cave at the first sign of adversity. It takes grit.
We're focusing on leading yourself before you can go out and lead others, and really trying to define what leadership is. It's not necessarily being, captain of a team or a club, president of a club. Really, it's about trying to just impact the world in a positive way.
And when the guys walk into this place, there's something that changes. I asked one of my students the other day, I said, what do you think the difference is? They said, well, when you come in here to work. And so this place, just by the very nature of being in here, changes the mindset. It changes their way of thinking.
We're back here at W. Michael Ross Stadium on the campus of CBC High School for the second half of the CBC Cadets versus the Vianney Golden Griffins, and it's been all CBC, 42-0 in the first half. Aiden Robinson-Wayne with 147 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. He's also rushed for 47. Jordan Clay, 41 rushing yards. Ray Lingard, 34 rushing yards. And Zach Hahn, Tyler Dixon, Danny Heitert, and Chevalier Brenson all chipping in the passing game for the CBC Cadets. It's been a team effort. The defense has come up with a touchdown, Coach, and it's CBC is dominating here in this first half.
They have, and they have, and kind of surprisingly so. I think the coaches and the kids thought Vianney was going to be a little bit more up to the challenge. They've been the team the last few years in the conference that's given CBC the most trouble. 2 years ago, they came out here and played CBC tight for about 3 quarters until CBC kind of put it away late in the fourth. And last year, it was a touching, it was a, push and shove at the beginning of the game, and then right around the middle of the second quarter, CBC kind of put their foot on the gas and pulled away. That was also an extremely unique team for CBC.
That's Coach Chris Maris. My name's Randy Molman. We're ready for the kickoff here in the Tim Kylo broadcast booth. This is the TJ's Pizza kickoff. And here we go. Second half is underway. Loomis with a line drive kick that bounces at the 5. Bollinger will pick it up at the 4, and he'll bring it back out across the 10, looking at the sideline. Cuts it upfield, weaving his way across the 15, across the 30, finally run out of bounds at the 36, and a nice return by number 43, Jack Bollinger.
A couple of CBC guys got down there at the beginning of that kickoff and just needed to kind of change their path and squeeze a little bit through their blocker, and they could have cut that return off a little bit sooner, but Bollinger did a nice job running the ball, kind of weaving in and out of the traffic there in order to get a positive return for Vianney.
Hate to make everybody hungry and jealous, but Coach Maris enjoyed himself a Chick-fil-A sandwich at halftime.
I did.
The official chicken sandwich of the CBC Cadets. Don't forget our location, or the Chick-fil-A location on Manchester Road. That's the, we call it the home location for the CBC Cadets. Ray Lingard with a big tackle for loss right out of the gate, as Cannon Barkham, who's rushed for 48 yards in the first half, was stuffed there. It'll be 2nd and 11.
Well, what you saw there is the offensive line opened up a little bit of a hole, and as soon as Ray saw that opening, he accelerated through it because it was a nice opening. He saw the ball and went in, was able to make the tackle there very, very quickly.
So 2nd and 11 here for Vianney. As we are just underway, second half here from W. Michael Ross Stadium. Griffin John, the quarterback. Nope, this is Cannon Barkham. Direct snap out of the Wildcat. Up the middle, picks up a good chunk of yards. It'll be 3rd and about 4, I'd say. Maybe a long 4 or 5.
See Charlie Kilby slow getting up out of the pile there. But, Barkham in that Wildcat has been fairly successful. It's probably not a sustainable offense for Vianney against CBC, but it definitely in gimmick situations, it's been a way for them to get some positive yards.
Griffin John, a rough first half, and that's a credit to the CBC defense as he threw 5 for 13 was his number. 5 for 13, only 9 yards in that first half. Another direct snap to Barkham, and he hands it off, but CBC read it beautifully. That was number 11, Chris Caldwell, the freshman. And he's hitting the backfield.
Well, trying to get the freshman involved there, and he had no place to go in that situation as they shut him down very, very quickly.
4th down and 6 for Vianney here. And it looks like they're going to go for it. Why not? Down 42-0. Get another offensive play in, see if they can get the first and march downfield. Vianney looking for a little momentum here to open the second half. It's a 42-0 game. There's the snap. Sets up. John here feels the pressure. Takes off up the middle. Dives. He's not going to be anywhere close to the first down. And CBC will take over. Turnover on downs. The Cadets hold. And a good first defensive possession here for the Cadets.
And we'll see what Coach Pingle decides to do here in the second half with his substitution patterns. Being up by so much, so early in the second half. And granted, they've been there in years past, but this is a little bit different group. It's a younger group that has to, learn how to finish some games off. As you see, some new guys coming out on defense here, or on offense here. I saw 73 Aiden Quinlisk lining up at right tackle for CBC.
Patrick Heidert is in at quarterback for the Cadets, takes the shotgun snap and hands it off. Looking for room up the middle, and he cuts it upfield. Nice carry inside the 40. And a good carry there for CBC on first down, as we're trying to get the number for you. Number 22, it looks like, for the Cadets. That is Jeremiah Miller. He's done some kick returning here this year as well.
He has. He started off doing some of that early in the season. We haven't had many people kicking it deep to us.
There's Miller again, weaves his way for a first down near the 30-yard line. A little extracurricular activity at the end of that play. But that's a first down for the Cadets at the 30. The first really cold night of the season so far here in the St. Louis area. 45 degrees at kickoff, and it'll probably get under 40 by the time this one's over.
It's pretty chilly out there, so.
Miller lines up to the left of Heidert. 3 wide receivers in the game for Patrick. He caught a touchdown pass earlier. He keeps it himself up the middle inside the 25, dragging tacklers close to a first down. Looks like he may have gotten it.
So basically what you have out there on offense is you have the primarily starting offensive line plus Aiden Quinlisk at right tackle, who's not normally in there. And Levi McGee, the freshman's in there, but you're seeing a lot of substitution on offense to start with for CBC.
Heidert to Miller, bounces it to the outside. Oh, nice juke move there, and he's finally dragged out of bounds. We're going to get a penalty at the end of that play.
He might have got a face mask on that, or he got him laid out of bounds. Not sure.
Henry Bollinger, one of the leading tacklers for Vianney, threw him down on the sideline. Hard to tell from way over here if he grabbed him by the face mask, but judging by the force, it could have been. It is a penalty against Vianney.
The way the box is already moving to get lined up.
Personal foul face mask there.
Okay, so they're going to get half the distance from where they're at. So they're going to be first and goal from about the 9. They're saying that on the scoreboard, the 10, it looks like the official might be just inside the 10-yard line.
So first and goal, Cadets on their first drive here of the second half. Vianney turned it over on downs on their first possession. They received the second half kickoff. Here's Miller looking for room, nothing there. Bollinger in on the stop. Also number 55, that's Ryan Zerwig in on the stop for Vianney. And that's going to be a loss of 1, back to the 11.
Yeah, he kind of ran into the pile there. Not so much on him, but there wasn't a whole lot of running room there where he was supposed to run the ball, ran onto the pile and didn't get much.
Shotgun snap, Heidert rolls left. No, that's not Heidert. There's a pass complete to number
Tyler
88,
Charlton.
Conley, and it's Tyler Charlton
the sophomore.
Completing it to Gavin Conley, the sophomore. A couple of sophomores getting some playing time here for the Cadets.
So JT Gertis just checked in for
number 53, Goulet.
Alex Goulet. I'm like, what's that? I couldn't get it out. Sometimes you just get locked up.
Penalty flag on the play. Let's see what this one is. Legal man downfield, I think, for the Cadets.
Jake Cole at left tackle, Gertis at left guard. You looks like you got Levi McGee at center, Aiden Quinlisk. And then
69, Vaughn Strength has checked in.
Yep.
So after the penalty against CBC, the ball is now spotted back at the 16. Charlton fires. The ball was tipped. It either came out of his hand funny or somebody got their hand up and knocked that ball down as it was headed towards the wide receiver. So it'll be third. down for the Cadets.
It changes your play calling a little bit with a left-handed quarterback in terms of when you're going to run some passing plays and stuff. And people are like, oh, why is CBC throwing the ball? Well, these are all young guys in there, and they need their reps, and you're not throwing deep bombs down the field.
3rd and goal at the 16. Here's Miller with a head of steam. Cuts it inside. Touchdown, Cadets. Jeremiah Miller from 16 yards out. He gets in on the fun, and CBC now up 48-0 before the extra point.
Nice play right there by Jeremiah Miller as he got out there. It looked like a Griffin had leverage on him, and he took a plant step inside and took off, and there he went.
Senior tailback gets into the end zone for CBC. And Loomis will attempt the extra point with 4:40 to go, 3rd quarter. Looks like
Tyler Dixon was a little late coming on the field there.
He was. Snap back, ball down. Kick is up, and it is good. CBC leads 49-0 with 4:40 to play here in this 3rd quarter.
So it'll take us a little bit of time here to look at the roster as CBC subs guys in here in the 2nd half.
We don't have the luxury of a spotter yelling in our ear, do we, Coach?
Nope, we don't, and that's okay. So you'll have to bear with us as we pull numbers, and it doesn't help that they're not as bad as some other jerseys we've seen, but they're hard to pull the numbers off of.
4:40 to play, 3rd quarter. Cadets 49, Vianney nothing. Vianney struggling through a new season. They're 1-5 with a new head coach, new systems. But if we've learned anything about Vianney and this program, it'll be turned around fairly quickly. They, as Coach said earlier, they've always been somewhat of a thorn in CBC's side. We've seen some exciting games between the Cadets and the Golden Griffins the last several years.
We have. They've definitely been one of the teams in the area that's been able to not been afraid to stand up to CBC and play hard.
Kick by number 97, Dylan Weiss, down to the 5-yard line. Here comes Bollinger back up the right hash. He's got a seam, and he gets across the 30 to the 31. Tackled there by Carey for the Cadets. Calvin Carey with a nice tackle, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Vianney. At the 40. No, not at the 40. That'll be spotted at the 31 or 32. Let's see where they drop it. At the 32.
32.
Approaching 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. A lot of new players on defense here for the Cadets, getting some playing time. Griffin John out of the shotgun, takes a snap, hands it to Cannon Barkham. Left side, cuts it upfield. It's got some space. He's hit down over there. Good tackle on the far side for CBC.
Like 81, maybe.
81, Malik
Bindum
Jr. Good tackle in the open field. It'll be 2nd and 2.
So you pretty much have wholesale changes out there for CBC. I'm trying to spot whether or not you have a starter in there. The closest thing I see out there is maybe Garrett Shantz, who played a lot last week, and R.J. White's playing a little bit in the middle, going to get some extra minutes. They'll still rotate through a lot of defensive linemen in order to get them some playing time.
2nd and 2 now at the 40-yard line for the Golden Griffins. John takes the snap, going to keep it himself, and he is hitting the backfield. A rush of purple jerseys with pink numbers.
24, is that Jalen?
That's Tatum.
Jacob Tatum.
Jacob Tatum in the backfield. And a loss of 4 on the play.
There was a couple of other guys in there. I'm trying to see who the other middle linebacker.
3rd and 6.
Dom McAfee, the senior, looks like he's in there at middle linebacker as well.
3rd and 6 at the 36 for Vianney. If we learned anything from that first drive, they're not going to punt. So there's the handoff now. Barkham, right side, cuts it upfield. Nice move. And he's across the 43. That'll be a 1st down for the Griffins.
Johnny Hoenig just barely missed getting in there on the tackle, and Jeremiah Miller was stepping down in there, couldn't quite get there.
Aiden Quinslick now checks in at defensive tackle for CBC. It'll be 1st and 10 now for Vianney at the 44. Under 2 minutes to play, third quarter. John takes the snap, sets up in the backfield now, looks downfield, fires. He's got a receiver. Good catch. That's their leading receiver, McCauley, and if I'm correct, that's the first catch of the night for Jacob McCauley at the 30-yard line, and he beat the safety, number 43, Michael Walsh.
He was right there. He just needed to turn around, and he might have been able to knock that ball away, but it's a good thing these guys are getting some young guys are getting some experience.
They spotted at the 31. It'll be 1st and 10 for Vianney now.
As Kasuba I had it in my mouth. I got Chessie checked in at defensive tackle. Oh, man.
Oh, I've been there. It's cold. Our faces are freezing up. Here's Barkham up the middle. He's got room. Cuts it upfield. Inside the 25 before CBC finally brings him down. Pickup of 8 for Cannon Barkham. Barkham had a successful 5 weeks, these last 5 weeks, where he rushed for well over 100 yards each game. In fact, rushed for over 200 in 2 of those games. He had over 200 last week versus St. Louis U High.
Well, and he might get an opportunity in this game just because they might end up on offense a lot playing against, the CBC's backups.
Here's Barkham again. Jump step. Inside the 20 to the 15. It'll be 1st down and 10 for Vianney. They're marching downfield here in this third quarter, and we're about under 10 now left in the third quarter.
You're seeing just substitution after substitution after substitution for CBC. Looks like that's going to be the third quarter, folks. I told you it's going to go fast. And
so if we get a little break here in between the third and fourth quarters as the CBC defense will gather on the field and see what they can do to stop Vianney, who's on a bit of a drive, their best drive of the night for the Griffins. Deep in CBC territory is where they will start. But we go to the fourth quarter. The Cadets have this one in hand, 49-0. And a dominating performance here on both sides of the ball for the Cadets.
It's been a nice complete game by CBC. There was a little bit of a slow going early on, but since then they've kind of taken care of business, and it's been a good game for them to get lots of people playing time, fine-tune some things as they get ready to go into their final stretch run of their last 2 regular season games against Rockhurst and Belleville West.
A road game against Rockhurst next week, everybody. Keep your eye on the Cadet Student Network Twitter feed and all the social media outlets to see if the game will be broadcast. I'm not sure a decision has been made as of yet, but keep your eyes out for that as the Cadets travel to Rockhurst next week. And then in 2 weeks, the final regular season game of the year will be right here back at W. Michael Ross Stadium against Belleville West. Here's Cannon Barkham to the outside. He's chased down immediately. Number
that's
35,
R.J. White.
R.J. White. Nice play.
Yep, as he slashed inside and got downhill and made the tackle for loss there.
So a loss of 1. It'll be 2nd and 11. We're in the fourth quarter. The Cadets lead 49-0. Fake and a throw over the middle, and the tight end. And number 43 for CBC, that's Michael Walsh. Kind of got tangled up there, but the throw was well behind the tight end, Volmert.
Yeah,
the 3rd and 11.
There's no uncatchable ball in high school, though, so I was watching on the monitor to kind of get a little bit of a different look at the game, and I'm wondering if the officials at this point, unless it's just really, really brutal, if they're just going to let it kind of go.
3rd and 11 here for Vianney. Change formations, 3 wide receivers near side. Barkham lined up in the backfield. Barkham gets the ball, looking to pick his way over the right side. He's tackled there after a gain of about 4.
R.J. White again.
R.J. White very, very active here.
He is making this third and fourth quarter on defense kind of his showcase. Barkham and the CBC and the Vianney starting offense is still out there.
It'll be 4th and 8 for the Griffins. We approach 10 minutes to go in this one. John out of the gun, takes the snap, looks left, fires into the end zone, touchdown. Griffin John to number 3, Jacob McCauley. The leading receiver for Vianney finally hauls in a touchdown, and the Griffins are on the board here in the fourth quarter.
So nice slant route there by McCauley. Good throw by the quarterback in order to get Vianney into the end zone. I know CBC, some of the guys will be disappointed they didn't hold the shutout, but getting these guys some playing time in this opportunity is much more important than that. And now CBC's young offense, the non-starters, will get another opportunity to come back out on the field.
Copeland drills the extra point, and with 9:38 to play in the fourth quarter, CBC leads 49-7. So the Griffins will kick off to CBC here. For those of you tuning in, we appreciate it. We know that a lot of you might have a split screen going on here in St. Louis with the Cardinals game on.
What? Is there something else going on?
And the CBC game here at W. Michael Ross Stadium.
Completely get it, folks. Completely get it. In fact, I can imagine some people may have already shut it down for us for the night as they probably focusing on the Cardinal baseball game at this point.
CBC will receive back deep, trying to get that number back there. Deep.
44. That is freshman Dakota Mayo is the deep guy.
Dakota Mayo deep for CBC. Kicking it off for Vianney will be number 7, Andrew Copeland. Copeland, the senior. It's another pooch kick. This time Zach Hahn's not over there, but received at the 29, across the 35, inside the 40, across that to the 44. Matt got to the 34.
Kendall Houston, I think.
I think it might have been, number 84, Kendall Houston on the return. Playing a little defensive end here tonight as well.
Yep. Young, versatile guy. They're trying to figure out how they want to utilize him and deploy him. And as he grows and gets better, he'll be able to help this CBC offense or defense where they ultimately put him. They got him marked down as a wide receiver and a linebacker. He's looked pretty good at that outside linebacker / defensive end position for CBC in spot.
So the Cadets have it 1st and 10, and this is number 36 for the Cadets across the 45 and close to midfield before finally being run out of bounds.
Jeremiah Love, the freshman.
Jeremiah Love with the carry.
You got Will Wright at number 20 in at quarterback.
Will Wright, a sophomore. Jeremiah Love, 5'11", 165-pound freshman. 1st and 10 at midfield for the Cadets. They lead 49-7, under 7 to play. This will be Love again, cuts it upfield, and he's hit down by that Vianney defense. A host of white jerseys led by number 54, Brandon Stanfield. Loss of 1, 2nd and 11.
Wasn't a whole lot of room there for anyone to do anything. You got a lot of young pups out there on the field.
Will Wright wears number 20. Very rare you see a quarterback wearing number 20.
My guess is after this year he won't do that.
Tackled in the backfield. Vianney's defense swarms to the football, led by number 72 on that play, Nathan Sipple.
That's another freshman, Dylan Van, on that play.
So a lot of freshmen getting some minutes here in this fourth quarter, valuable minutes, even if it's only 1 or 2 drives, right, Coach?
Yep.
I mean, when you get a lot of these guys in, and this is why CBC year after year, not only do they have depth, but the depth gets some action as the season goes on, so they're prepared by the time it's their turn. 3rd and long here for the Cadets. Wright takes the snap, hands it off once again up the middle, and picking his way across the 45 once again
that was Jeremiah Love right there.
Jeremiah Love. So it'll be 4th and about 13, approaching 5 to play. And it looks like the Cadets may just go for it here.
No, it looks like they're going to go JV. I could hear Coach Wayner from here calling JV punt. So
the question is, will they let this play clock run down and then run the punt unit out there?
Coach Pingle will probably call a timeout as it gets down there, but now they might try to get out there and get it off before that.
Charlton will punt for CBC.
They do not have enough bodies on the field.
It doesn't appear so.
So
they only had 9 players on the field.
Yeah, and Levi McGee ran out there late, and he's not the type of guy that you put out on a punt team.
So the Cadets take a timeout with 4:25 to play in the fourth quarter. They lead 49-7. So, Coach, we've talked about it before. We talked about, a team like Winton Woods coming in here from Cincinnati. We've talked about CBC going across the river to play those Illinois schools. This matchup next week against Rockhurst is just another one of those great tests for this team before the playoffs start.
Well, it is, and CBC's been playing Rockhurst now. You go back to 2014 when they played them in the state championship game, and they've pretty much played them.
And played them last year in the state championship.
Well, and they did, and they've played them 5 times now and 3 times in the regular season. So this will be their fourth time playing there, 2nd time up there, and it's just a great test to be able to go on the road and see what you do. Because now with the way the playoffs are, you've got to travel to win.
Charlton will do the punting. Stands at his 33. Back deep is Bollinger for Vianney. That's Jack Bollinger, the junior, 6'2" wide receiver and defensive back. And that ball will take a CBC roll all the way down to the 15-yard line before being down there by number 82, Jalen Booker Watson.
So with 4 minutes to go and the clock running, CBC's defense back on the field. Looks like the same personnel we had on the last defensive series. Looks like Nate Kidd in as one of the linebackers. That might be a new one. And Isaac Sear, 2 guys that see a lot of time on special teams, sophomores that they've got high hopes for.
So 1st and 10, Vianney at their own 15-yard line. And Griffin John will keep it himself on the option. And, wow, almost swiped in midair there.
Is that Jacob Tatum on that side or was it on this side? I don't know. It was still.
That ball almost swiped on the pitch.
33 freshman Kyan. Do I have this right? I'm trying to make sure because we got duplicate numbers. So 33 Kyan Franklin into the game. Hey, Coach, we got a game on Monday. Don't get him hurt.
Second and 10. Actually, make that 2nd and 8 at the 17. Barkham once again up the middle. No, that's not Barkham. Number 11 for Vianney is the freshman, Chris Caldwell. He picks his way for about 4.
Jerome Logan with the big tackle in there. As Dakota Mayo comes in for Jeremiah Love. No. He's in there for, is that 81? Yep. He went in for number 81, Malik Bindum.
So 3rd and a long 4 for Vianney here, fourth quarter action.
You got Wendell Caldwell in at the corner down here. So you're starting to see them kind of empty the bench to get as many of the freshmen in as they can.
John fires over the middle, caught. Tight end makes the catch, number 87, before being gang tackled. That's John Volmert with a nice catch over the middle. Big first down play for Vianney. Quick throw by Griffin John. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line for the Griffins. CBC took the opening drive of the game, drove right downfield on the back of a 40-yard run by Aiden Robinson-Wayne. Got it all the way down to the 1-yard line. They punched it in, and then the Cadets forced a turnover on that ensuing Vianney drive, scored, made it 14-0, and never looked back. There's the freshman again, number 11, Chris Caldwell, picks up a couple. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Golden Griffins. Approaching a minute to go in this one.
Sear and Tatum in on that tackle. Kale Lipinski checks in the game. Looks like Aiden Quinless back in, trying to get some of these substitutions on these guys that aren't out there all that often.
Under a minute to go, 49-7, CBC leads. Griffin John rolls right, looks upfield. He's being chased, and he throws it away. Number 75 for the Cadets was in the backfield, Tyler Gant, putting the pressure on Griffin John.
And I don't think Vianney's going to snap the ball again. They don't have to.
Play clock is at 25, and the game clock is at 20, so we'll see if Vianney wants to try to run one more play here. It doesn't appear so. The CBC Cadets improved to 6-1, 3-1 in the MCC, with a 49-7 win here at home against Vianney. And Coach, we talked about it several times, but just a dominating performance from the Cadets.
They did a great job with a lot of extra distractions and other things going on. The alternate jersey game, homecoming. You know, they had an abbreviated practice week with parent-teacher conferences and how that affected the coaching staff, and came out here and did what they needed to do, took care of business.
Fireworks going off here at W. Michael Ross Stadium, and the handshake line commences. The CBC Cadets win 49-7. And folks, don't forget, we want you to pay attention to all of the social media outlets of the CBC Cadets for broadcast information next week at Rockhurst. We want to thank our sponsors, of course, Tim Kylo. If you want information on insurance, Tim Kylo's your man. Tim at timkylo.com. That's K-I-L-O. His number's 314-842-4442. TJ's Pizza, great sponsor here of the Cadets. Chick-fil-A, the official chicken sandwich. Eastbay.com for your cadet gear, and Mercy Sports Medicine. My name's Randy Molman for Coach Chris Maris. Until next time, so long, everybody. The Cadets win it 49-7.